209 of the Fab and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I'm a business strategist, a coach, a speaker, and an incoming author, and I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habits. It is both my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this 209th episode of the show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. So if you can see and hear me over on my LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube socials, please come into the chat, come and say hello. You will not believe the teching over the last couple of weeks has been comical, but not in a funny way. As it is right now, you probably are seeing me a little bit different in terms of the aspect ratio, because I am coming to you from my phone because the laptop and Restream were not getting on today. But nonetheless, we come in full force on what we are here to do, and we are here to do what we said we were going to do. So I'm really excited to share today's insight with you, which is focused on the 5 cash flow lessons that I have gleaned from my 19 years of marriage. Yesterday, I celebrated my 19th wedding anniversary with my incredible husband, and was talking to him this morning, and I was like, what should I cover on the Booster Shot show? And I said that today would be a good day for me to talk and speak to some of the insights that I have gleaned and gathered from this particular adventure. But I don't know if the tech is teching. I don't know if anyone can see me. I don't know if I am indeed live. I definitely know I'm live here. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to see what happens and whether I can actually get any access. And I will deliver this show. And then if I have to go back and kind of upload it in all the different spaces, then that is what I'm going to do. But if at any point you have the opportunity of being able to see or hear me live, feel free, jump into the chat, come and say hello. Let me know that you are here with me live. Hello, Avita Simpson. Thank you for letting me know that we are working over on LinkedIn. I have no idea what the tech is doing right now. I cannot see anything. There is nothing going on my laptop. I literally had to really quickly jump on my phone to keep my appointment and my date with my fabulous audience. But thank you so much for letting me know that we are at least live on LinkedIn. So let us talk. I am so glad. Hello, fabulous Kath. Thank you so much. If either of you, hello, beautiful Stacey, thank you for letting me know. Stacey, I know you have a YouTube channel. Could you just let me know if I'm live over there? If either of you, Vita or Kath, have a Facebook page, would you mind just checking if I'm live over on Facebook too? Because I have 5 power lessons to share with you on the cash flow front that I have learned through the 19 years of being married, and I have a Mr. E approved episode today, so I'm very excited. One of the reasons I'm really excited is because I purposely do not really share much about my personal life, about my relationship, about my the ins and outs of my marriage, any of that kind of stuff. I keep that very separate, and yet I had, as I said, a really powerful conversation with my husband today, and I was minded how many really important lessons and important opportunities I have had over the last 19 years, and how applying those lessons have really transformed my cash flow journey and results. And I figured it would be very helpful to all of you, so I figured I would come along and share. Unfortunately, the tech had other plans today. I have no idea what the problem is, but all I can say is that I am glad to be here with you. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how you are feeling today. 1 being, oh my gosh, Yinka, things could not be any worse. And 10 being, woo, Yinka, things could not be any better. Stacey, thank you for confirming we are live on YouTube. Kath, thank you so much for confirming we are live on Facebook. Okay. So, lesson number one that I really want to share with you today. So, yesterday was 19 years. So, we closed out our 19th year. Your anniversary is obviously the end of the year. People often think it's the start. It's not, it's the end. So, today marks the first day of the 20th year of being married to Mr. E. And the first lesson that I really want you to grab with two hands when it comes to cash flow, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to anything, is that it's very easy to mark the years, but you don't live them in years. You live them in moments. You live them in days. You live, and there is something really powerful about the importance of daily commitment when it comes to creating results. So lesson number one is, yes, you can celebrate the years, but those years are created in moments and days. Someone drop that in the chat for me. The years that you celebrate are created in moments and days. So yes, absolutely, it has been 19 years since the wedding, but it hasn't been 19 years since I made the commitment. It hasn't been 19 years since we chose each other. It hasn't been 19 years since we have been intentional about ourselves, our relationship, or what we are creating. We have to do that daily. Like, I can't even imagine what 19 years would feel like if you were thinking in the full gamut of the experience. What we do though is we seek to choose each day. We seek to honor each day. We seek to show up each day. We seek to connect each day. So with those opportunities that add up and build and create momentum, they're lived in moments. They're lived where we choose each other daily. And I think that is very powerful, because actually 20 years is approximately, 7,200 days or something. It's a long time. 20 years is a long time. And if I'd have said to you, if you say to anyone, like, go and get married for 20 years, that feels a lot. Whereas if you are able to simply say, okay, make your choice for today. You can make whatever choice you want tomorrow. Let's just let today take care of today. It becomes a lot more empowering. It becomes a lot more, the strength of commitment is much higher, and the clarity of action becomes a lot more focused. And it's exactly the same with cash flow. It's very easy to say, go build a business, but, build $1 billion, go build a unicorn. It's easy to say that. It's much harder to do that. But when all said and done, it is also true that businesses are run in days. They are improved in days and in moments. They are not improved as a result of years or milestones or big things. It's the small things that make the biggest difference. It is those moments and those days. So building your cash flow, for example, for me, it's a daily commitment. I connect with people daily. I make offers daily. I seek to serve and provide value daily. This is not something that is a one and done because I set up the company X number of years ago. Having that daily frame for action and focus is one thing that I can definitely say that the 19 years of being married has definitely brought into that cash flow journey. And the powerful thing about that is that means you don't have to commit to years. You can just commit to today. Your big one actionable tip is going to be the question, what can you commit to today? But I will share that actionable tip a little bit later on as I share the other lessons. So lesson number 2, which probably should be lesson number 1, but we like to keep it all spicy and keep you guessing, is it is so important. Like, I cannot overstate the importance. I don't know why I'm closing my eyes on a live video, but this is how excited I am about this point. I want to really, really shout out from the rooftops the importance of the intentionality of who you choose to partner with. Now, I say this in a business context all the time, that 50% of the success of anything you do in business is who you choose to do it with. Even if you have a brilliant offer and you do 100% of all of the things that you are supposed to do, that still only is going to account for 50% of the outcome, because the other party has to bring the other 50%. Who you choose matters. Who you choose matters. And so the second lesson that has really taught me so much is about the intentionality of choice. Now, we, yes, got married 07, 07, 07. And actually I missed a friend's wedding because they were getting married on the same day. We had the opportunity to meet up a couple of weeks after our weddings when we'd both come back from honeymoon. And sadly, they were divorced by, I think it was 2011, they had called it quits. Now, they are not the first of our friends who have, decided to get married and then decided to call it quits. And whenever we're having those conversations, when our friends have struggled, when we have struggled, do not hear what I am not saying. The 19 years that you are hearing me talk about has not just been one smooth, plain sailing journey. It has been, the saying, that rough seas make the best sailors. I don't know who's better sailors than us. We've been through, our relationship, we started in much challenge. That year was one of many challenges, and we pretty much had challenge all the way through. But the thing I know for sure is that the choice of who I decided to partner with, the choice of who I decided to, show my value to, who I decided to partner as a result of or be part of in relationship with, has been everything. Who you choose to literally hitch your wagon to, I think that's why they call it getting hitched. It has so much to do with the outcomes you're going to see, the opportunities that are available to you, even just whether you have peace of mind in your home, like just chilling, doing nothing. Like the person you choose, the intentionality about choice of partnership is one of the biggest lessons of, yes, we live in a day and age now where people marry for love. And I know that sounds like a bizarre thing to say because it would seem so obvious that is a good reason to get married to someone. And what I will say is that marriage takes way more than love. You can love someone and not be meant to marry them. That I have seen. You can love someone and still that if that is all you've got, it may not be enough. And so what I want to share really powerfully and to really gather insight into today is the importance of understanding who you choose to partner with, who you choose to show your offers to in your business, who you choose to take on as a client, who you choose to walk alongside, who you choose to collaborate with, who you choose to create opportunities with is so, so important. It is the most important decision because everything else flows from that. And as I said, in those tough times, in those challenging times, what that gets to show us, or what will come up, are things that ultimately the choice was the deciding factor. If there were things at the beginning that were non-negotiable, they're still going to be non-negotiable to you later on. And so what marriage has shown me is how important it is to be intentional in that choice. There is very little point in having this big idea, wanting this specific outcome, and then wanting to change or adapt the person later to be what you want them to be. No, you need to hold the standard from the start. This is why we do so much work thinking about who we are speaking to, who we're not speaking to, who we want to work with and who we don't want to work with. But marriage is such a crystallizing point around the importance of the choice of partner. And it is partnership. It really is. And so the third of the lessons that I wanted to really bring or draw from those 19 years into the realm of cash flow is the importance of having shared vision. Yes, two people with different visions can't walk in the same direction. Shared vision is important, but what is more important is shared language, shared meaning. It is easy to say, yeah, we have a shared vision. We both value respect, until you begin to really dig deep and understand what each of you means by respect. Because I can tell you for free, if it ain't the same word, it ain't the same thing. And what I have definitely noticed is how many words we all use the same words, but we all mean very different things. And that creates real challenge. That creates real problems and issues. If you are in a situation where you are using the same words but having very different meanings: respect, loyalty, love, calm, safety, peace, money. You need to have the same language if you are going to really, truly create the success that you want. And so shared vision is important, but shared language is transformative. And that is also really important when it comes to your cash flow. I often use the expression and say on an ongoing basis that value that is not valued will not be treated as valuable. That means that you are saying that something is valuable, but they are not saying that the same thing is valuable. And if they're not saying that the same thing is valuable, then all of a sudden you're talking at cross purposes. Oh, but I have this incredible feature and that amazing opportunity. And they're like, well, yeah, good. But actually, this isn't something I value. And if it's not something you value, then all of a sudden there is no conversation to be had. And so making sure that you have the same language, the same meaning, the same words mean the same things to you and your client is so incredibly important. Lesson number 4. Oh my gosh, lesson number 4 has been definitely the hardest for me to learn in both cash flow and marriage. But lesson number 4 is really about radical responsibility. It is about understanding that marriage, 50-50 in marriage is like if you are lucky, but it's more like 100-100. Everyone has to bring what they've got and everyone has to take responsibility for what they've got. It's about making sure that you're not pointing the finger at the other party. You're not creating a scenario where you're expecting someone to rescue you or make you happy or do any of those things. That you perceiving and understanding yourself to be the most important person and party to your change and your transformation is so, so important. Expecting your partner to be all things to you is a recipe for a big challenge in the relationship. One person can't be everything. It's not practical. It's not a fair expectation. It's not reasonable. And so the opportunity that you have is to think about, okay, what am I responsible for? What is it for me to do? And that translates perfectly into the space and sphere of cash flow, because the fact is that all the cash you want is available to you, is there and willing and waiting. But you have to be willing and you have to go out there and create the opportunities that you have to go out there and take that full responsibility. That's not the easiest thing to do. I can tell you that for free. But that radical responsibility, not looking for other people to rescue you, not looking for other people to do for you what you need to do for yourself, not looking for other people to fix for you, A, what isn't broken, or B, what is not theirs to fix, is so, so important. Understanding your role, fulfilling on your role. The fact is that going into a relationship of that nature is not even about having it's about having the back of the other person. That's not the easiest thing to do. And so allowing yourself to grow, to change, to shift, to be a messy beginner is very important, both in marriage and in cash flow. The 5th lesson really comes, I've been listening this week to 10x is easier or better than 2x, the book. I believe it's by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. He has a co-author as well, but I can't remember that person's name in this specific moment. But in that book, they talk about the 4C framework for success. And those 4 C's are confidence, competence, commitment, and courage. And I was reflecting on the 4 C's because everything that we want to create are going to require those 4 C's in certain levels and amounts. But the interesting part, or the one that kind of really rose to the top for me when I was thinking about cash flow and about marriage, it's the same C. And most people think about the confidence and the competence and the courage that it takes to create success in those areas. But actually, it's about the commitment. That commitment is the difference that makes the difference. And for those wondering what I mean when I say commitment, because I literally just talked about having the same language, it is to remind you that if you're interested in something, you will do what is convenient to do. But if you are committed, you will do what it takes. You will do what it takes for as long as it takes, and you will get the result that you want. Commitment isn't about convenience. Commitment is about completion. It is about focus, and it is about that lock-in. And so I was really excited to think about these lessons, these 5 lessons that I've shared with you today, because the truth of the matter is that every day is a school day. And the opportunities to learn and grow come in all of the spaces. Hey, Evelyn, thank you for joining over on LinkedIn. It's great to have you here. The opportunities to learn and grow are everywhere. Every day is a school day, and there's always something to learn if you are open to learning. But you have to be open, and you have to be willing to learn. And so, because of the tech, and because my phone is now overheating, I'm just getting these error messages, I am calling it a day. So my powerful truth is that every day is a school day. My actionable tip is to ask you, what can you commit to when it comes to your cash? What is your commitment today? Not tomorrow, not next week, not being fantastic in 5 years' time, today. What can you commit to today? What offer can you get out there? What person can you connect with? Who can you collaborate with to elevate